Welcome back. You're watching In Focus live from Washington. Tony Abulu is the award-winning producer of the film Dr. Bello, an inspiring story of human interest that features elements of Africa and, for the first time, brings Hollywood and Nollywood, the Nigerian film industry, together. Joining us in the studio to tell us more about the emotional film is Tony Abulu. Hello, Tony, and welcome to In Focus.
Nice to meet you again.
Yes.
Vincent.
Now, before we start talking, I wanted us to just play a little clip from actually the trailer of this movie,
yes,
and then we can talk a little bit about it. Let's see if we can have a...
You think my dad will miss me when I die too, Dr.
Sam.
Good stuff. I mean, you can tell that the quality is really good. But knowing a little bit about the movie, I know that it does actually show kind of Western medicine failing on some patients, and then traditional, African traditional medicine saving lives here. What is the story you wanted to tell
Well,
us?
basically, you find that there's so many things in this world that we're not familiar with. We are still searching. And a lot of people are doing a lot of work. Western medicine, they working every day, trying to discover new things. But what I wanted to say was that don't give up hope, and don't overlook certain places that you might think may not be relevant in this search. There are places in Africa that I know that have had a relationship with people who have been involved in traditional African, would I say, medicine? And what I'm saying is, why don't we all come together? Yes. And try to see how we can solve some of these problems.
Okay. Yeah. You said traditional medicine, you almost kind of put some quotes there. It is medicine, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But the interesting part in this movie is that you actually depict a doctor, a real Western conventional doctor, yes, Michael Durant, played by Isaiah Washington, yes, that actually goes to Africa, and he himself goes through this process and gets helped by traditional African medicine.
Right.
Why did you actually literally want to take a doctor?
Well, the movie is laid severally for several reasons. The issue of traditional African medicine, the issue of Western medicine is one part of it. The other part of it is that a lot of people haven't seen Africa really. When you talk about Africa, we see contemporary Africa, and I wanted to use this opportunity to show what deep Africa is like. It's not your skyscrapers and all that, but they may be very humble, but at the same time they have a contribution to make. And in the case of Dr. Michael Durant, played by great talent, Isaiah Washington, who in himself is on a quest, personal quest. He's invested a lot through his DNA discovery that he's a native of Sierra Leone, and he's helped out a lot over there. You find a lot of Americans that are doing that now. African Americans are going and through DNA testing, finding out that they are from various parts of Africa. So this movie is saying to people that Africa is a place that you can visit. Africa is a place that you will find discoveries of not mundane issues. And I wanted to show that, you have skyscrapers in Africa, you have beautiful cities and all that, but that's not where we want to stop. We want to be able to go into Africa and say, what else can we find in hinterlands, in places like Bello, which has spawned great literary giants like Wole Soyinka and so on and so forth. So there's a lot to be discovered. So this movie does that.
Who is your target audience? Who do you want to watch
this movie? Let me put it this way. Specifically, I made this movie for African Americans specifically.
Yeah.
But I think that the movie's for a general audience. I think that, and I always say this to people, I'll give you a little example. I went to some of the custodians of Yoruba culture. And I asked them, I said, there's a word called Oyibo. What do you call Caucasians? They said Oyibo. And I said, every Yoruba word has a meaning. And they said to me, oh yes, Oyibo means something. I said, what does it mean? It says, it is the weather that paled their skin. And they now endeavor to show me a river and said, this is where they left Africa. So the bottom line is this, everyone is African, as we all know. Yeah. People leave or left Africa at a certain time, and then other people left. So this is a movie for everyone. Africa is the mother continent. It is a place that I believe that we need to really look at and study. There's so many things over there that I think that
but very briefly, this collaboration now, at least bringing together Hollywood and Nollywood, do you think this might be the future of African film?
Oh, definitely. Definitely, without a doubt. It is one thing to make art movies that are not viable. This is the time that we're looking at African movies as a viable economic tool for sustenance in most of the African nations. And to do that, we need support from some of our brothers and sisters in the Western world, because most of their actors are known and they are viable actors. So this is where we need the help.
Thank you very much. Hey, Tony, I always wanted to be an actor. So how about your next
you look
movie?
like an actor. Come on. The lead of my next movie.
All right, I hope so. Tony, that's Tony Abulu, who is the award-winning producer of the film Dr. Bello. We thank you very much, and I know we premiere here in Washington very soon.